if we go back into core principles of creation, we realize that object isn't really there, and neither are we. We're just all energy signatures. We are formations of consciousness. We are all energy. This is what we need to begin learning to experience each other as. Ourselves, each other, and the world around us. Because this is where we start to learn things. And we start to see beyond the illusions. Because bodies and buildings and matter forms are illusions. Nice solid illusions when you're down here. But they do not tell you the truth of a being. They do not tell you the truth of a reality that you walk into. You may walk into a beautiful room with beautifully whitely dressed angels. And they could be devils in disguise. If you can't sense those energy signatures, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between energies that are positive and harmonious and energies that aren't. So we're learning to sense energy signatures. I want you to go back to the object. This time I simply want you to put it in your left hand. Forget its size, shape, and even forget its weight. What I want you to sense for next is a quality of temperature, heat versus cold, that you will feel not so much where the object touches your palm, but in the energy, just a few little, like quarter of an inch around the object. The object's etheric body. We'll give you a temperature read. You can do this with any object or any person. Begin to detect temperature in the energy field. Once you get where you can detect temperature a little bit, the next thing is to move your consciousness into the center of the object. This you can do in a variety of ways. Some people just have a natural flow where, okay, that means put my consciousness here, and they shift. Other people go, how do I do that? How do I move my consciousness into something else that's stuck in my head? If you're one of the people who feel your consciousness is stuck between your eyes and your head, like most of us are trained to have it focused there, visualize your consciousness as a point of white light in the center of your brain and put it wherever you want it. If you want it in the center of that object, create an energy line between the center of your brain and the center of that object. And now a portion of your consciousness, as a form of a little white dot scalar wave, is in the object. Try to get a feeling for what that part of your awareness is experiencing. Try to get a sense of the energy. How fast or slow does the energy inside that object seem to be moving? It will also have a sound to it. There is a tone that goes with it that you may first feel before you hear. You may feel it as a vibration. Try to experience the reality of that object rather than the illusion of its matter cloaking. It's there. Once you begin to feel the reality of the energy signature, you're beginning to experience the object rather than just perceive the object. You are beginning to be able to directly cognate some of what it means to be that object. For that object is composed of units of consciousness, just like you are. By sensing that object, you are sensing another field of consciousness. And if you can do it with an object, you can do it with a person, an animal, a plant, a group of people, a planet, or the universe. Energy sensing, basic energy sensing skills are like basic bicycle riding skills. The more you use them, the more you develop the balance, to the point where you get the balance and you just hop on and go. But little exercises like this take you to a point where you get sensitized enough to do the next step. Now the next step I'd like you to try is put the object aside for a minute. We're going to use it one more time, but it's going to be hard to without a mic stand. I want you to put your palms together, first till they're touching, and feel the heat. Feel one palm against the other. And then move them about 1/8 inch apart. And still try to sense the heat that's there. And then kind of move them in and out just a little bit, back and forth. I'm going to show you this and then pick the mic back up because I can't do it with the mic in my hands. Okay. Now flip them up like this. move them around, a little circular, then in and out. You'll begin to feel fuzzy energy in there. You're feeling your own etheric body. If you don't believe you have an auric field, feel this. You do have one. You just have to focus your attention on finding it. And that's just the beginning of your auric fields. Feel it. And try to build it up. There's going to be a current taking place between the two palm chakras, magnetic and electrical. Electrical will run through magnetic, and you have a closed circuit between the two. You can build the charge by breath. Breathe in, hold it in the heart chakra, throw it down the right hand, transmitter, and then inhale it back up this hand. And every time you circle the energy breath that way, you will throw more energy into the circuit in the palm. You can get it to the point where if you close your eyes and breathe and then throw it, you will find your palms actually jump at the surge of energy that ran down. You can play with this at home. You can get to the point where by moving this energy in and out and synchronizing with the breath, you will start to feel what almost feels like a metal rod. It can get so strong in there. It becomes a rod. You could pretend that you were holding a metal tube here, and it moves that way as if you were, and if you go off of it, it'll be like dropping the tube. But you can get to the point where you feel a solid, not physically perceivable, mass of energy. Yeah, it's hard to use. I need the third hand. I guess I'm having a hard time with the mic here because he's not picking up on the thing. Anyway, when you do the thing with your palms and you build that circuit of energy, the more you do this is a great thing to do to play. If you want something to do and you're bored instead of doodling, do this. Nobody knows what you're doing, you know, they don't care. You know, there's a guy over there playing with his hands, who cares, you know? Yeah. Every time you do this, you strengthen your ability and to be sensitized. You strengthen your energy sensing ability in the palms. The palms are important. They're receivers. They're like feelers. You know, we picture aliens and things with like little antennas, guys from Mars and the whole bit. Well, you know what? We're walking antennas. We're walking scalar waves. And they are antennas, and they draw in energy from all over the universe. When we begin to sensitize ourselves to being aware of the energy that we carry, we begin to open up a whole new perceptual level of what reality is about. We begin to be able to see reality and to experience it directly. So play with your hands for a couple of minutes. I'm not going to let it go for 5 minutes here. Just for a couple of minutes till you can build that current. I want you to be able to feel it as if there's a bar of energy, or a bar of metal, let's say, in between there, a circular bar of metal or tube. And pretend you're holding it first. And then pretend you're moving it a little, and you have to move the palms the right way together, or you drop the bar. If you move this one too fast, you drop it. When you play with this enough, you can get to the point where you feel a solid current built there. And where this hand moves, this one will want to go in its opposite direction. You will find a very active circuit. Once you find that, you can begin to cup the hands in a praying, kind of an exaggerated praying hands position, and begin to make that rod of energy turn into a ball. And with the breath, you simply energize it more by sending energy from the heart chakra down through the right hand. And before you suck it in with the left hand, with the inhale, let it roam around in that ball for a while and strengthen the energy current there. Begin to feel it tingle at the fingertips, where now you're getting your fingertips activated. Because you'll be able to feel it. You can play with this enough where you can get like, it feels like a basketball of warm fuzzy energy in there. You can use that for a lot of things. Old martial artists used to use it to wipe people out when they were doing their confrontational battles and things, but we're going to use it for love and healing purposes instead. Okay, now, what you've just done is sensitize the palms, the neurological structure, the brain. You've opened up new currents of, let's turn these switches on. We're encountering a new set of tunnels, let's say, and there's light switches here. You just turn the lights on in a certain set of nerve endings that you don't usually pay attention to. And when you don't pay attention to them, they go dormant.